Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the summit at Chenal Valley. It is a pleasure to have all of you here. We are very, very excited for today. We are honored to welcome the volunteers from Never Forgotten in Arkansas. They are a heartfelt and dedicated organization committed to honoring every veteran service, sacrifice, and story. Today, in partnership with them, we are privileged to host the presentation of the Quilt of Valor Award to our very own resident and American hero, Mr. Thomas Vaughn. As this award is presented to him, please take a moment of deep gratitude, remembrance, and celebrate a life lived in service. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Maybe she's gonna show one.
2019. Sergeant First. Sergeant First Class Thomas F. Vaughns, a Tuskegee Airman, a World War II and Korean War veteran. On August 21st, 2019, Sergeant First Class Vaughns will be recognized for his service and commitment to the United States.
Service to country, a life of service to community, and a life of service to God.
Going off at a young age, serving his country, willing to do whatever he was asked to do, and did that very, very well. Came home, and then, like the greatest generation, rebuilt the country.
Made so many sacrifices. Despite indignities offered you because of the color of your skin, you still persevered.
Here today, because of the respect you have for me, it's so gratifying that you're doing this. I want to thank the committee and all of you that planned this activity, and I will join in a bit. Thank you.
Life too short to be ordinary kids. To go unnoticed, to miss celebrating, make the most of it.
You ready for me to start?
Yes, please.
I'll try to do it without the mic. I may need the mic. I don't know. Probably better do it with the mic so everybody can hear me. I want to thank everybody today for attending. It is quite an honor to be able to award him this quilt today. You'll have to bear with me. I've been doing this for 4 years. I still get emotional. First off, I'm going to read a poem. I'm going to talk about Quilt of Valor, and then we'll present him with the quilt. The Quilt of Valor, a few pieces of cloth from people who care. To honor your service, it only seems fair. Carefully chosen materials of red, white, and blue, sewn together for those patriotic and true. A piece topped together with caring and pride, then quilted with backing and a warm layer inside. Every stitch and seam sewn from the very start with appreciation and gratitude straight from the heart. For those who have sacrificed, for those here at home, may this quilt warm and comfort you wherever you roam. Our hope with this quilt is to make sure you knew we appreciate all you've done and all you've been through. It was written by Mary Welch of the Quilt of Valor Foundation. The Quilt of Valor Foundation is a national organization founded in 2003 by Blue Star mom, Catherine Roberts. With a son deployed in Iraq, a gunner, sitting atop his Humvee, she often felt only 10 seconds away from him. She had this vision of her post-deployed warrior struggling with his war demons in the early hours of morning. She then saw him wrapped in a quilt. A quilt not only provided warmth and comfort, but memories of home and those who loved him. From this mother's vision, the Quilt of Valor Foundation was founded. Our mission is to cover service members and veterans touched by comforting and healing quilts of valor. Since the founding of Quilt of Valor Foundation has awarded over 121 quilts in the past 21 years. To veterans of military action, conflicts, and war, including World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Beirut, Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Each quilt is formed by loving hands, joining bits of fabric together, one piece at a time. A quilt of valor may be fashioned by one or two individuals, or through a combined effort of many women and men of all skill levels. Many others who do not sew, but provide venue, funding, and supplies and support play an equal part in creating a quilt of valor. This quilt brings to you a three-part message from our hearts. First, we honor you for your service. We honor you for leaving all you held dear and to stand in harm's way at a time of crisis, protecting us from the effects of war. Next, our quilters know that freedom is not free. The cost of our freedom is the dedicated lives of men and women like you. This quilt is meant to offer you comfort and to remind you that although family and friends cannot always be there, you are forever in all our thoughts and hearts. Today it is our pleasure to award a Quilt of Valor. A quilt comes with a presentation case and a label that designates it as a Quilt of Valor. And so, on behalf of Quilt of Valor Foundation, we serve, honor, and comfort upon you, though we may never know the depths of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America. As a gesture of gratitude from the grateful nation, please accept this Quilt of Valor. Are you able to stand, Mr. Vaughn? Can you stand?
Can you stand
For a few minutes?
for just a few minutes?
Not long, just a few minutes.
Just a minute. Let's move his chair.
What you trying to do?
We're gonna right
If he can't, that's fine. He can remain seated. That's fine.
We're gonna let you remain seated.
Hmm?
We're gonna let you stay seated though, because we're gonna take a few minutes.
Yes,
We don't
Okay.
want you to-
yes. I
So
think
just
so.
let him sit.
That, okay, your daughter said sit. We're gonna do what your daughter says.
Okay. You ladies ready? Sergeant First Class Thomas Franklin Vaughn, U.S. Army, 1942 to 1952, World War II, Korea conflict, duty stations, Camp Robinson, Arkansas, Bakersfield, California. Basic was Fort Hood, Texas, Tuskegee Airmen, a mechanic for B-25 bombers, awarded World War II Victory Medal, National Defense Service Medal, American Campaign Medal, Congressional Gold Medal, Tuskegee Airman, member of the Arkansas Agricultural Hall of Fame. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Ellen?
Would you
They were the bearer of it.
That's all I have. I just wanna, again, thank everybody for allowing us to come do this.
Absolutely. Everybody please give them a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. That's beautiful. So today, of course, I'm Ellen Cavazos, by the way, everyone. I'm the executive director here at the Summit at Chenal Valley. I have the privilege of, we have 180 residents here at the Summit, and I have the privilege of calling all of them my friends and family. So today, of course, we are deeply honored to recognize Mr. Thomas Vaughn from the Tuskegee Airmen, whose courage and service helped shape the course of our nation's history. Having a true American hero call the Summit at Chenal Valley home is a privilege that humbles every single one of us. Mr. Vaughn, thank you for your extraordinary service, your legacy, and the light that you and your amazing daughter Hope bring to our community every single day. We are so grateful to have you both here.
Thank you so much.
Now, to hear from the true hero himself, Mr. Vaughn is going to tell us a little bit about his story. Did you know that?
You want to hear a story, huh?
Yes, we want to hear a story.
I want to start with my great-grandfather that was a slave in Virginia, and he was sold several times, ended up in Mississippi as a free man after the war. All right, after then, after the war, he and his brother was in business, and the Ku Klux Klan burned the building down, and they had to run for safety, ended up in Arkansas. I mention that to let you know he bought a farm, and that's where I was born and reared, on that farm, and we still have it today. Now, the next thing I want to mention, in the community there, we had a little school called the Rosenwald School, and so we had two teachers, and one would teach the primer to the first grade, and then the other teacher would teach the fourth to the eighth. All right, so the county agent would come by about once a month, and so Mr. Phillips came by, and I was impressed with him. His shoes shine, and he was appropriately dressed, and then he was in an automobile, late model, or Nash automobile. And so I was so impressed with him, so I said, Mr. Phillips, what you do for a living? He said, I work. I said, what kind of work? What kind of work do you do? He said, I'm working now. I said, talking to me? He said, yeah. I said, when I grow up, I want a job like yours. He said, you can have one just like mine. You got to go through the 8th grade, you have to finish 8th grade, then you have to go through the 12th grade, then you have to go to college. I said, you have to do all of that? Yeah. I said, well, I just want to be a county agent like you. He said, all right, you can be that. And I'm going to step over. In about 25 years, I was a county agent. It wasn't easy. When I finished 8th grade, what I had to do was, we were to go to high school. There was 3.5 miles. And so I had to make a decision. to stay with my aunt that lived across from the front of the school. Or I had to walk 3.5 miles. And so everybody was gone from home to help my dad. And I was the only person left. And I made a reason to stay there with my dad, to help him much as I could. Then I started walking those 3 miles and a half. I went thinking about Mr. Phillip and that job he had. And so I tell you about one day, I was almost at school. And so a rain caught me. And I was wet, and the principal said, you go back home and get an early start after she stopped ringing that bell. And I just kept walking, going. She said, did you see me tell you to go back? I said, I have to rest first and get dry. Then I go back home. She said, where you live, on the north end of town? I said, no. I said, live in Pelton, Arkansas. She said, that's 3.5 miles. I said, I walk that every day. And she looked, you go and get dry. And come on out and get your pass to go to class. And so this is the thing that I had to do to get ready to go to college, to be like Mr. Phillip. And so about, let's see, after I finished junior high, and so I said, well, now I'm getting ready to finish college. And so, finish high school. And so, in finishing high school, that means that I had to go through all these grades, and I made it to 11th grade. And so the 12th grade, I was different. I said, well, let me back up a little. My aunt lived in St. Louis, and I said, well, I'll go to St. Louis. Then I could make a little money maybe, and come back. Instead of walking to school every day, I could catch the bus. Now, this little yellow bus, school bus, passed me every day with empty seats. And so that's the kind of problem I had in going to school there. And so I went to St. Louis, and so when I got there, and just a few dollars, I ran out of money to about, I was down to 75 cents. And so I went in, I said, I'm disappointed because I went to St. Louis to make money so it could help me go to school. And so I just talked to the Lord just like I'm talking to you. I said, Lord, you know I don't have but 75 cents. I came here to better my condition. And I made about 5 steps. And I looked, I saw a long line of black men, I guess about 30 in line. And I looked over there, and a big sign said, jobs. I jumped in line, asked this guy, what do you have to do? He said, well, first of all, see that man in that chair at the end? Yeah, that's a doctor. Yeah. Well, you have to give him $1 to examine you, and if you were able to work, then you can be ready to go. I didn't have 75 cents. I took off and half running a little, walking fast, and back to my aunt's house. And I borrowed 25 cents,
And I came back and got in line. Remember about 3 people ahead of me then. And then, doctor examined me. I gave him $1. Then we were ready to go. And then I would move on out to the railroad track on the first day. They gave me a jackhammer. Put the gravel underneath the cross ties. It seemed like I shook all the night. The next morning, the foreman come over and touched me on the shoulder. Said, "Hey, Shorty." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I got a different job for you." "What is that?" "I'll make a water boy out of you." And all I had to do, he had a water bucket and draw water from some kegs he had scattered down the railroad track. He said, "I'll tell you what, when they haul a water boy, you take this dipper and this granite gallon bucket and draw water from each keg, and you're gonna go that way." And I got the same pay as the guy handling the cross tie and so forth. And then something else happened unusual. A young man, I noticed he was reading his books and looking. And so I went over and got acquainted with it. And he said, I said, "What's your name?" He said, "Stanley." And I said, "What you doing?" He said, "I'm trying to get ready to go to finish high school." I said, "That's what I'm gonna do." Now, he went home for the weekend, and so he came back. He said, "I told my family about you, and they said you could spend the weekend with us from June to September." I spent the week in the family, and they knew nothing about me except what I told them. Now, I'm gonna cut off there. I'm going to Tuskegee Airmen. I was a baker at headquarters, and so I got a call. The guy said, "You need to go to headquarters immediately." I said, "For what?" "You never knew why you was going anywhere." And then said, "Drop everything with headquarters." And there was 5 men from Tuskegee, and they were there. They say, "You've been recruited to go to school to be an airplane mechanic." And so you seen these insurance guys that used to have these big, I would say, would have something like a sack or something to carry the book in. So we had a book about 12 inches thick, yeah. And so they said, "When you get through this book, you'll be a certified airman mechanic." And so in about 6 weeks, we went through that book. And I'm gonna tell you a little something about the airplane. All right, our job to make sure it was safe. The first thing you do is walk all the way around the airplane, see if you see an oil leaks, gas leaks, or anything that is claim damage in any way. All right. Then a guy would stand guard while you get ready to start it. First of all, they had to turn the propeller over 3 times because the oil would run down to the bottom of the cylinder. If you try to start it, it would knock the cylinder out, and you have to go and get another in you. And so that's the first thing you do, walk around and see if any damage. All right, the next thing you do is a crew chief would go and get it in the pilot seat. And his job was to make sure everything is working good. And it's a guy on the ground, he had to have earphones on. So we talked with the guy on the ground and to determine exactly whether everything was working. And so when we get ready to start it, we said, well, there's a guy on the ground. All right, make sure you stay away from the aircraft as far as you can. You had a primer, you touch the primer and run the gas down into the cylinder. Then you touch the starter, and that starts the engine. Then you advance the throttle until it gets 2,600 RPMs. If you didn't do that, you had to shut it down to see what's wrong. And you had to have shocks. They said, they called me shocks. They had to have something to hold to make sure the airplane wouldn't move. And so you start the aircraft and advance the throttle to get 26 RPM. Then after that, if you go through that all right and all that stuff, the airplane have elevated, and so if the elevator normally be 180 degrees, and we have to make sure it flopped down to 45 degrees when the pilot get in. And so most people think our airplane is being pulled, but it's being pushed, and the air being moved away from it and come back in and then push the airplane. And so the crew chief had to fill out 41B form. Then if anything happened to the plane, he's responsible. And so that's about it with the airplane. Now, the next thing about a county agent. When I see one of my boys, club boys, I said, no, that's not. Stand up, man. All right. Now the county agent say you have to have that land is pledged. I don't know whether they remember it or not. So I praise my head for clear thinking, my heart for greater loyalty, my hand for larger service, and my health for better living, for my club, my community, and my country. And then I have a motto to make the best better. Yes. And so this followed me throughout my life. And so I was the kind of agent over about 1,000 points in the Quinlan County. And so I ended up working at the university at Pine Bluff with 14 persons in 13 counties. And so I had a good life, and I was able to make that county agent. I was named county agent of the year Tuskegee some years back. And so I could tell Mr. Phillips, I made it.
You want to say something about about your family?
Okay,
Your wife and children?
okay. I saw a
And
little girl,
grandson?
I saw a little girl, 10 years old one, and, I looked at, I said, that's a cute little girl, I'd like to, when she grow up, I'd like to
Can you
marry
speak a
her.
little louder?
And so,
Your daughter wants you to talk louder.
okay. I said, when she grow up, I'd like to marry her. And about 10 years later, I had gone through the army and everything and got a job and was teaching there on campus. And I saw her, and she's finishing high school. I said, well, there she is. And you know what? A short courtship, we married. You had a daughter here.
Daughter's the son and a grandson.
Oh, Johnson, this is my daughter. And she have 2 other kids. And so,
Married for 50 years.
yeah, that grandson. Oh, yeah,
Huh?
that's my grandson.
Thanks for remembering, Yad.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
No.
It was an honor having you all. Residents of the summit, thank you for coming. KRK and KTV, thank you for coming. We very much appreciate that. The Quilt of Valor, thank you all for being here. So we have a private luncheon in the community room for all the family and friends. Whenever you guys are ready, you can make your way back. The community room is right behind where we are right now. For all the residents at the summit, you guys can now have lunch here in the dining room. Thank you all for coming. We very much appreciate it. Thank you for your service, Mr. Thomas. Thank you, Ms. Hope. We enjoy having you here.
Being an RN on Mr. Vaughns' home-based primary care team for the VA. And I was given this letter to present to him today, and this point, this comes from the Secretary of Veterans Affairs in Washington, D.C., Mr. Douglas A. Collins. So I was going to read this letter and present Mr. Vaughns with him with this in this coin as well. It says, Dear Mr. Vaughns, on behalf of the Department of Veterans Affairs, it is my pleasure to send you a note of appreciation. We honor the nation's centenarian veterans, and we celebrate your life's accomplishments. Our nation honors your distinguished service as Sergeant First Class in the United States Army and Army Reserves during World War II and the Korean War, and a member of the famed Tuskegee Airmen. Your outstanding service and dedication made a difference. You are part of this country's greatest generation for your legacy of patriotism and honor. Americans enjoy the blessings of peace and liberty because patriots like you answered the call to defend our nation. We remain grateful to you and your generation for helping defend democracy and shaping the world we live in today. The accomplishment of your military career is held in highest esteem. Thank you for your commitment to your community, teaching farming techniques and developing programs that provide employment opportunities for many. You are a source of wisdom and inspiration to others. I join your VA healthcare professionals, family, and friends to celebrate you and your service to America. We send warm wishes to you for good health and cheer. Please accept my coin as a token of our gratitude and appreciation. May God bless you. Sincerely, Douglas A. Collins, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Washington, D.C.
Is that it? Is there any other?
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna end again. Is there anybody else that would like the mic before we go have lunch? All right. Whitney, can you make a way right there by Miss Elliott? And we're going to have you guys go ahead and stand up and go to the community room.